time ago. Back in 1836, when the Hocking Canal was first being built. Sure has been a lot of water flowed down the canal since then. I remember those early years like it was yesterday. When I was 8 years old, I left home to live on my own. I did many enough job to earn my way. I even helped dig this stretch of the canal through Logan. I was 15 when the canal was finally finished. Like many a young man, I wanted my own canal boat in the worst way. Now, I'd like to tell you about a man named Henry Trotsky. Yes, Henry Trotsky. Here's a fine story, all right. He worked hard on the canal, saved up every penny he earned. I'll tell you more about him a bit later. Before the canals were built, farmers could only sell to local folks. The roads were poor, transportation limited. Well, even after the railroad came through here in 1869, local folks couldn't afford to use that iron horse. Canal boats were cheap if you weren't in a hurry. Before the canals, a bushel of wheat earned 25 cents, and potatoes sold for almost nothing. After the Ohio-Erie Canal was completed, a farmer could make $1 per bushel of wheat and potatoes 50 cents. Oh, the canals opened up a whole new world to local farmers and businesses. By the 1850s, many ironwork furnaces were in operation and used the canal to ship iron. Oh, there were some families who lived on their canal boats. The husband would captain the boat. The wife would help with the cooking and other jobs on the boat. And the youngins would help with the chores and the mules. I remember this one little gal named Abigail Rose Fletcher. She was just 10 years old when I first saw her on her daddy's boat at Sheep Pen Lock. Must have been around 1871.
Sure. Soldier? No. Have your brother had put on his leg, he nearly fainted from the sight of blood. I did not faint. I was just hungry, but a little dizzy. Well, I should hope there's no more war, but more business would be nice. Well, you just better plan on marrying Canal Boat Captain Abby. Going up on a boat later tonight, you'd be a catch for any captain. You know all the ins and outs, plus every lot from here in Portsmouth. Well, maybe I don't want to get married. Maybe I just want to be a captain. Shoot, Abby. Why in the world would you want to spend your life on a canal boat? In those boats, I am hard work every day, by comparing one lock to the next, and always having to deal with these darn mosquitoes. And naughty Sunday. Oh, the bugs aren't so bad. Besides, you know, I like mules. They're smarter than horses if you treat them right. Well, he'll treat you right. Yeah, you're right.
Mama. I'll be taking you with Abby tomorrow to register you both for school in Logan.
Come on, Aunt Martha. I will be captain someday.
Sure is a beautiful evening out, Abby. Listen to those spring peepers and look at all those stars. Too many to count. Papa should be back soon. Hope he got that new contract with Keen's Flowering Mill. Good business on the canal right now, even with the railroad pushing its way in. Sure saves folks a lot of money to ship by canal boat, if you don't care about speed. Still, time is coming though, Abby. This old canal won't last much longer.
Well, don't say that, Aunt Martha. I just want to stay on the roads forever.
Honey, you're 18 now. It's time for you to think bigger than the canal. Why, you're smart enough to be a teacher or a nurse.
But I don't want to settle down. I just want to take over the roads from Papa when it's time.
What about Tommy? You sure have been writing him enough letters over the past 3 years while he's been working up north in New York.
Well, I do miss him a lot. And I know he really likes me. I guess I'm not really sure what to do.
And then there's that certain lawyer in town too, Mr. Ford.
Yes, Samuel. He's interesting and pleasant for conversation.
You sure have caught his eye. It's been nice to see you step out with him on occasion.
We always do seem to run into each other when I'm in Logan. He is a fine, intelligent gentleman.
One thing is for certain. Just like this canal, life can sure throw you a few unexpected bends and twists in your path. At times, you just have to go with the flow and mind the rocks and snags when you can.
I suppose.
Look at those stars. See how they twinkle? It reminds me of that song I used to sing to you when you were just a little girl. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Like
backwater. Now there's a term you don't hear used much anymore. Most of the time it referred to the necessity of a boat to back up in the canal to make room for another one to pass. You see, in places, the canals weren't very wide. The Hocking Canal was designed to be only about 40 feet wide at the waterline, and its depth was about 4 feet. Now, as a side note, awfully hard to drown in only 4 feet of water, unless you're wee small. So oftentimes the children would be tied with a length of rope to the deck of a boat to keep them from wandering off. Anyways, canal boats were built to be about 15 feet wide. So when two of them had to pass each other, well, you could imagine it could be a tight fit. Tight as a whalebone corset. So sometimes it was necessary for one of the boats to backwater quite a ways in order to let the other one pass. Well, this could cost time and money. So you could imagine there were often some polite disagreements about this. That reminds me of a story. The two canal boats, the Wyoming and the Red River. The Wyoming was headed downstream with casks of whiskey. The Red River was headed north with a load of wheat. They met just north of Lancaster, and the canal was much narrower there. So when they came together, there was going to be a problem unless one of them was willing to backwater. Well, there they were, face to face, stuck. Neither one of them willing to budge an inch. The captains, they were fit to be tied. And I tell you, well, words were spoken that no children's ears should ever hear. The crews were upset too. They were yelling and carrying on, and even the cooks came on board with their frying pans, only eggs wasn't what they was looking to scramble. To complicate matters, a thunderstorm sprung up, and it was raining pretty hard. Well, this made the towpath a wet, slippery mess, with the occasional mule pile making things even worse. Pretty soon there were more people in the canal than out of it. To make matters worse and to complicate things, well, a sudden bolt of lightning and a roar of thunder startled one of the mules, whose name happened to be Whiskey. So old Whiskey got tangled up in the ropes and she slid into the canal. "Whiskey's done spilled into the river!" That's one of the hoggies yelled. Well, that caused great consternation among the canalers. Being good, hardcore canalers, well, they immediately stopped their fighting because as everyone knows, that there's nothing worse in the world. There's no crime worse than wasting whiskey. Well, it took them a few minutes to figure out what actually happened, and then everyone rushed in to save poor old Whiskey. It was quite a struggle to get her out. And when they did, both teams, both crews sat on the edge of the canal, muddy all over, soaking wet, and celebrated by opening an actual cask. Yes, sir, life on the canal could be really dangerous. Well, between accidents and sickness, many canalers lost their lives. Abby's pa lost his life one night, the night of the dance. He slipped on a slick spot on the wharf and fell between a wharf post and the boat. Even when Doc Willage come as quick as he could, there weren't nothing that could be done. Poor Abby. It sure was a rough way for her to become a captain by losing someone she loved so much.
Still hard to believe that Captain Fletcher's dead. Miss Abby sure took it hard those first few weeks.
Yeah, I always knew that Miss Abby wanted to be a canal boat captain. Hard way to come by it, though, losing your paw and all. Have you heard how she's doing running the rooms?
I heard she forced Captain Jake Matheny to backwater last week.
No way. I know Jake Matheny. He and his crew are some tough birds. Well, you know, I heard the last time someone forced Matheny to backwater, it ended in a fight. And his crew won.
Yeah, well, Miss Abby's pretty cagey.
Yeah.
You know that her Aunt Martha's the best pie maker on the canal.
Oh, her pies are just apple pie.
Anyway, Miss Abby offered Matheny a pie if he got one. He said he'd do it for 2. That settled the deal.
Well, shoot. I'd settle for a pie or 2 myself, considering what I get fed on our boat. Oatmeal in the morning, ham and beans every night. A pie sure would taste good. Do you think that Aunt Martha might marry me?
An old geezer like you?
Yeah, why not?
No way.
Oh, gee.
I'll tell you what though, those pies sure made Matheny's crew happy.
I'll bet they did.
Oh, I see Miss Abby coming now. Oh, and Miss Barbara. Ladies, please take our table. We was just leaving.
Here you go. Here you go.
Get off yourself.
May I help you, ladies? Just tea for me, please.
And I'll take coffee, thank you. I took up this bad habit on the canal, but a hot cup of coffee sure does taste good in the morning, especially one made by someone else. I've been wondering, Abby, have you talked to Tommy recently?
Oh, I've seen him occasionally over the last few months, when he's not working the rails.
He's a good man, Abby. I miss him.
I miss him too. He was such an important part of my life for so long.
Do you think maybe it's time you had an important conversation with Tommy? At least become friends again. You two always seemed so happy when you were together.
Maybe so. I'll think about it. I sure do miss him. Well, time to get busy. Here's a list of groceries we'll be needing from John McBride's. After we finish, I'll head down to the Logan foundry to see about those repairs we'll be needing for the roads.
It'll be nice to tick these items off our list. Just make sure you're back to the boat by dinner time.
I've never gotten hungry yet. And besides, you've always left a little aside for me, no matter how late I've been.
Well, honey, there's always a first time. And you're too skinny as it is to be missing a meal. Just try to be there on time.
See you soon, Aunt Martha.
You too, dear.
Oh, wait. Let's be sure to ask around about someone who might be a good worker on the boat. We are short-handed. Maybe someone younger so we can pay a bit lower wages. We need to watch our pennies even more now, after all.
See you soon.
Miss Abby? Miss Abigail Fletcher?
Yes, that's me.
I hear you're the captain of the roads now. I'm real sorry about your paw and all.
Oh, thank you for your kind words. And yes, I'm captain now. How may I help you?
My name is Nathaniel O'Grady, ma'am. Everybody calls me Nate. I'm 13, and I heard you might be needing another hand in your boat, and you won't find none better than me.
Why aren't you at home with your family?
Well, my pa got sick after we took a load of wool down in Marietta last spring. Then my ma got sick soon after. It was the cholera. They was terrible sick before they passed. Anyway, please, Captain Fletcher, I really need this job.
Well, do you have anyone local who can vouch for you? Relatives or family friends?
Yes, ma'am. I have this here letter from the Isle family up in Newark. They was good friends with my mom and pa. They know me since I was a babe. They have family down here in Cotton County, over in Islesboro.
Oh, yes, I know the Iles family well. We've hauled their corn to market many times. They are fine and respectable people here in Honky County. My, they do speak well of you and your family.
Will you have me as a hand in your boat? I sure would appreciate it, Captain.
Sounds like you might just be the right young man we've been needing on the roads. When can you start?
Well, there is one little thing I need to mention. I heard you need a hobby too.
Yes, we are in need of a new hobby.
I have my younger brother with me. This here's Tobias. We call him Toby for short. I was thinking he could be your hockey. He helped work mules on our boat. Did a right nice job, too.
Howdy, Captain Ma'am. I sure would like to be a part of your crew.
Oh, my. How old are you, Toby?
Nearly 10, but I'm big from age. I could be a good hockey player, please. I love mules.
I don't know. Not sure you're quite big enough.
Oh, Miss Abby, please give him a chance.
Well, now, Toby and Brady, can you tell me why I should hire you as my hoggy?
Please, Miss Abby, I really want this job. My mother said to me, a hoggy you shall be. For stubborn as a mule I was the day that she had me.
I bet.
No finer one you'll see. I'm sure you will agree. Your muse will always give good care. I strongly guarantee. Come on, Miss Abby, please. I won't eat too much food.
I'm sure.
I never will intrude.
Really?
Just give me time, you will conclude I'm perfect for your crew. Just watch me once up, maybe twice, and no complaint you'll hear. I'll work real hard and watch real good, so you won't know I'm here.
And maybe brush your teeth?
My feet are tough as nails. I'll walk through rain or hail. I won't need shoes you will not lose. Just make me for your crew. Please?
Okay, you're hired.
I will be great, you'll see. Your mules will so agree. I'll walk all day and even night to help you look it through each love. You never will regret this choice the day you hire me.
Bat, shoes, and in that order. Anything else I can get for your folks?
Abigail.
Nothing for me, thank you. The lunch was delicious. Please extend my compliments to the cook.
Nothing for me either, thank you. This recent weather certainly has been dreadful.
The rain just doesn't seem to stop. The river's high and getting higher. I'm glad I'm not taking the rows out in this. Not that there's much cargo to haul anymore. The railroads have pretty much taken up the loads this past year. The state has pretty much given up on the canals now.
Abby, there is something I wanted to talk to you about. With the canals about finished, I wanted to talk to you about the future. Our future.
Good afternoon, Miss Fletcher. Captain Fletcher, ma'am. Please excuse my interruption of your lunch.
No problem at all, Mr. Adams.
I've got myself in sort of jam. I'm hoping you can help me out.
What can I do for you?
Well, I've got 5 tons of fire brick I have to have in Columbus in 3 days. It's a very important contract. Can you help me?
Normally I would notice, but with this bad weather, it would just be too dangerous to ship anything by canal. Why don't you get the railroad to do it?
I can't. The track's out between here and Lancaster. All this wet weather has made the trails and the roads muddy, and 5 tons of fire brick's too heavy for a wagon. Please.
I'm sorry, Mr. Adams. I just don't want to take the risk.
Look, I'll pay you double. I'll pay you double what you normally charge.
Must be some important contract, but I don't think so.
Triple. I'll pay you triple. This is very important. I promised this brick would be on time. My reputation is everything. Look, even if I have to lose money getting it there.
Well,
Abby, let me handle this. The lady has said no. Please respect her wishes.
Mr. Adams, would you mind waiting for me over at that table near the window? Samuel, I don't need you to tell me what I should or should not do. And for future conversations, I am not just a lady. I am the captain.
But Abby, you said yourself a trip in this weather would be dangerous. You don't need to do this.
That's not for you to decide.
Of course not. What I meant to say was, well, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. With the canals about finished, we could have a good life together.
We
could get married. I certainly make a perfectly good living and have a fine home here in Logan.
Married?
With Aunt Martha's permission, of course.
Permission?
I'm sure she would give it. We could have a splendid life with lots of children.
Children? You seem to have figured out my entire life without even talking to me. Samuel, this conversation is over. Just leave. Mr. Adams?
Yes.
I accept your contract. Get your cargo ready by 5 p.m. sharp. I will leave this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Miss Abby, Captain Abby, Captain. Thank you.
What's wrong? Something happened?
Tommy, you said you would do anything for me. Are you still willing?
Of course.
Well, I took a full contract just now, and I could really use your help on the boat. We're leaving for Columbus by 6 o'clock tonight.
Abby, I've known and respected you for a long time, and you've never been fooled. If you took this job, then you must think you can do it. And if I said you weren't up to it, then I get my gear and I'll meet you at the port.
Thank you so much, Tommy. What have I gotten myself into? Am I the one being a fool? Oh, the current is rough and the wind shore is strong, but this tramp's not so long. Should I try? And I know that my crew have the skills to get through, but the water is terribly high. And I know that I'm tough and the pay is enough. Should I give it the old-fashioned try? It is rough, wind is strong. Is it worth risking all of our lives? It is me against the water, my heart is tight and true. And there's hope in all these waters, bring these hopeless through. Yes, I know that I'm smart and I sure have the heart to take on this trip one more time. Try